Hello, and welcome to another episode of In My Experience with yours truly, Christine DeGinto. This podcast is a space where I speak from lived experience. The moments that shaped me, challenged me, and changed the way that I understand myself in the world. The awakenings, the breakdowns, the moments that cracked me open, asked me to stay present, be embodied, and be honest with myself. I share my stories not to persuade or define truth for anyone else, but to offer perspective, to explore the gray areas we don't often have language for, to slow things down and listen more closely to what's happening beneath the surface. You'll hear solo episodes where I reflect on my own initiations, spiritual gifts, and the systems that tried to define me. And conversations with guests who have walked strange, beautiful, and sometimes painful paths of their own and come back with wisdom to share with us. I invite you to take what resonates, leave the rest, and trust your own experience as valid. Thank you for being here. This is In My Experience. Welcome back to In My Experience. I'm your host, Christine DeGinto. Today's conversation is with Jeremy Silva, aka Steelo Free from the Outside Minds podcast. We recorded this episode while I was parked at a beautiful horse farm during the first week of my RV adventure. What started as a casual catch-up quickly turned into deep conversation about spiritual awakening, intuition, travel, consciousness, synchronicities, alternate timelines, and what happens when life pushes you into transformation, whether you're ready or not. Jeremy shares stories from his solo trip to Japan. We talk about how trauma can sometimes be a catalyst for growth and expanded awareness. And we explore everything from animal communication and psychic abilities to Mandela effects and the evolving way that people are thinking about spirituality today. As always, these conversations are not about convincing anyone what to believe. They're simply an opportunity to explore ideas, share experiences, and remain curious about the mysteries of life. Let's get into it.
How's it going?
Good. We have not left our first stop that we went to on Tuesday night. We arrived and we're still here and we're going to be here another night.
Are you guys having a blast?
We actually are.
I
We
loved it.
love it. We love it. I was outside earlier and I made a reel out of it because I was just watching storm clouds roll in and the horses are free roaming and they're running
Wow.
around and I'm just like, what? Like I'm just here right now. I'm just standing
Yeah.
here right now. Like
Yeah.
so cool. And I really love the hosts. I'm part of this thing, not part of a thing, but I guess it is a group once you're in it, but you download an app, blah. It's Harvest Hosts, and it's
Okay.
a farms and golf courses, wineries, um, I don't, private residences too, I guess, that can accommodate like the water hookups and electric and stuff. And you just can find lots of different places to go and stay and experience and connect with people. It's really cool. This is my daughter. We
That's
just,
cool.
and at this farm, she had kittens. And so we got two kittens yesterday morning. I was not expecting that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Well, the road provides, and the cat distribution system is real. I don't know if you know about the cat distribution system. Do you know about that?
I believe in it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, tell me more about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the road provides, the universe provides, and a lot of people are under the belief that when you are in need of a cat will enter your life suspiciously. You know what I mean?
I believe it.
Mysteriously.
I believe it. Yes. Yes. I now have four cats.
Wow.
Suddenly I'm a cat lady. But, well, actually, one of them is my son's. And then we got a rescue. and we love her, but she's not cuddly. And I want a cuddly cat, and boys are cuddly. And
Yeah.
he's pretty cuddly, but there's only one of him, you know, and
Uh,
we're all trying to cuddle with him. And he actually doesn't really like love to cuddle. Like, he's not a
wow.
snuggler. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
I just wanted a snuggle bun, you know, and yeah, so they're just
Oh,
little
look at it.
babies. Yeah, we got two
Wow.
brothers. Yeah, they don't like being up high though, so hold them close, okay?
Oh,
But anyway, uh, yeah, they're two brothers, and I was like, well, obviously we need to take both because I would always regret like
Yeah.
separating them. Like, why would you ever do that? So, yeah, and yeah, they're really cute. We love them, of course.
you can
So
say
have
Who
you
who
seen the
wouldn't?
medium on TikTok that talks, it's like a pet medium, and she was talking to a cat, and the cat was like saying like, yeah, like basically like telling her like a bunch of crazy stuff, like the secrets of the universe and stuff like that.
I
I don't
believe
know.
it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I'm staying now, she has a lot of horses, like I said. And she was like, don't make fun of me. I work with an animal communicator. I was like, I would never make fun of you for that. Like, I 100% support that and believe that. And believe also that all humans are also animal communicators. The ones who are doing it just practiced and
Hmm.
have confidence. And,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
it's all telepathy. That's
Yeah.
baseline. That's like baseline human like code, you know.
Yeah.
We just, we're here.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you always get into like the telekinesis or the psychokinesis or telepathy or just like, channeling and mediumship and stuff like that, like it's always like, well, how do you do that? And always, I feel like the basis of it always is to raise your frequency, to raise your vibration, you know what I mean? And a big part of that is meditation. So, I've been practicing that a lot and it's definitely been sharpening up my intuitive abilities.
100%. Because anything can happen at any time.
Hmm.
Like my spontaneous awakening. That's happen at any time. But the circumstances in my life that allowed me to be alone and have no work, which was, I worked probably 70, 60, 70 hours a week, like running the
Wow.
landscaping business,
Jesus
and
Christ.
had, took care of my daughter like the most, and the household the most. Like, I cooked all the meals and like did laundry and cleaning, paid all the bills. Like, I did basically everything. So then I went from that to, you're not allowed in your house. You can't be with your kids. You're now a crazy person. All the people you know
I'm
are
so sorry
like,
you went through that.
It's okay. You know what? It was a gift that was necessary. I was actually just talking about that with Eagle Skyfire, the shaman that I've worked with locally, and she's incredible. And we recorded an episode a little bit earlier. We were talking about how if you don't recognize the signs for you to follow or to release things in your
Yeah, yeah,
life,
yeah,
the
yeah.
universe will absolutely break it for you
Hmm.
in the worst way. But
Yeah.
eventually you'll realize like, oh, that was needed. But
It's like
yeah,
those.
when I was by myself for the first time with nothing to do, that's when I could see and feel and got in touch with myself because there was not noise. I also turned off
Wow.
all the lights and I didn't run the air conditioner, and I would, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I didn't know what to do with myself. But then I started like hearing people, and when I would take a shower, I could hear people talking like above me. And that's not the first time that's happened in my life. That happened to
Whoa.
me so many times in my life, like in my old house. Um, yeah, and just like hearing people talk, blah blah blah. And then it's just, I don't know, being treated like you're crazy for that. But actually, I think everyone can do it. And you either like,
It's funny you bring that up, and it's funny you bring that up on the subject of going through what you went through in order to get where you're at now, and it sharpening your intuitive abilities. Because we just had a dude on Monday night, and we just actually released the episode today. I don't know if you saw it, but we did an episode on psi abilities,
oh
and
wow, I'll have to check it out.
they have a thing called the Psy Games, and he actually won
Yes.
like first place in one of them, and then second place in the other two. But
Oh my
basically, he
gosh.
had the blindfold on, or was covering his
Yeah.
eyes, and then he's showing us how he had me draw a shape on a paper, and he guessed the shape. It was a triangle, and then he was like, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do another one. I was like, I'm gonna do a Star David. I did it like a Star David, and I put it sideways too, and I think he saw it sideways, but I put it to the thing. He was like, "Wait, no way, hold on." he still has his mindfold on, and he opens up this notebook because he has this extrasensory perception to where he can see with his mind. So he's opened up he's like, is it this image right here? He holds up a Star of David. And I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my God.
Mm-hmm.
So his wife
Earlier,
is talking about it. Sorry to cut you off. So his wife's talking about it,
no.
and she's saying that the main component that she's seen between a lot of the people who can unlock in their psi abilities a lot easier than the average person is trauma.
100%.
Yeah,
100.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking about that when I was
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Most of the I won't say most of, I'll say some of the most whole and deep healers that I've worked with have had the most trauma. People who
Yeah.
have the most heightened ability to see and sense, especially
Uh-huh.
entities, lower level entities, like the shadow walkers of the world, the people who go through trauma to come through and
Uh-huh.
have a greater universal understanding. But earlier, when you were saying he guessed the right shape, I was going to say he didn't guess it, he saw
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's because, I think we said it a few times before, but when you're put into those places, you're forced to, it's like you're at rock bottom, you have no choice. I was going to ask you, when you were in that place going through that traumatic experience, did you feel like you had no other way out than to face yourself, right? Is that how you felt?
100%. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God. Like it was an actual first I thought it was the Truman Show because of my specific experience, like with
Hmm.
the screen above
Yeah, yeah,
me
yeah, yeah.
and like the weird, like I'm like, what even, who are you? Like what, it was just really a dissolution of reality. So I was like, what is even real, first of all? And then it's like, who am I? Right. And
Yeah.
then I was hearing your God. Well, in that time and space, in the frequency that I was in, hearing that was not how I would hear it now. Duh, I'm God. You are God. We are all God. God lives through us. Like God to
Yes,
me, I'm
yes.
not religious in any way, sense,
Yeah.
shape, form
Hmm.
of at all. God is love. God is plasma, energy, I believe. It's
Hmm.
just the cosmic force of creation. Um anyway, but yeah, it's I was afraid that I was God and it was like, oh yeah, you're basic, it's like you're Jesus. Can you imagine the responsibility, the weight,
Yeah.
right? And it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you're God. You've been sleeping and all this stuff has happened and now you're consciously awake and you need to fix it. And I was like, everything wrong is also my fault. And I was just like, oh, the world, like, what are we doing with our lives? We need to focus on water and love. Like, everyone should just be nice. And everyone who knew me, that's not how I talked before. That's not
Yeah.
how I talk now either. But I'm just, I was really like, wait, what is happening? You guys, we have to make a change, just like people do when they have a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
major
yeah, yeah, yeah.
awakening.
Yeah.
But I was like a little bit, I was afraid to talk to people, but I kept feeling the urge to communicate what I felt was important.
Yes.
And so it was a balance. But in any event, I know that I'm not God. I'm fine. It was like one night where
Mhm.
I contemplated, what if it was it was me and all I had to do was realize that and accept it to be able to make the change, to make it
There
right,
you
to
go.
make it perfect. So I was like, what do I need to do? I was like really trying to fix it in my mind, and I had all of these visions actually about volcanic um, volcanic eruptions in the ocean to
Wow.
create more land masses and
Okay.
filtration systems, and essentially to like change the roots of the water. But it's also like that's like how it was. So it's almost like change it back. Like it's not like change it, fix it, it's
Mm.
wrong. Not that concept, but it's sort of like the earth will do what it needs to do, and there's already a design. That's what
Do you
was
think that
really
has anything
clear.
to do with the global cataclysms that people say happen every so Yuga cycle and all that stuff with the, younger Dryas, older Dryas?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, everything has its time.
Yeah.
Apparently, we've had all of the times and we're here now, and it's
Hmm.
supposed to be like, I guess, the biggest yet. But don't we always say that?
And it's funny
Isn't
because I
always
think,
the biggest and best to come is the future, right?
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
right now? Like, what?
Yeah, and I feel like regularly before you have this spiritual awareness at this level, I'm kind of like, at least for me, I'm kind of like, bring it on. You know what I mean? Like before, I would kind of be like more, a little bit more fear mongering, like, oh my God, like, there's gonna be a global cataclysm, like the world's gonna flood, like all this and that. But like now I'm just like, like if we're ready for that to happen, we're ready. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we can't stand in fear. We gotta
Yes.
stand in love, you know?
If you're meant to be here, you'll stay.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you'll return to
Mhm.
oneness that you already
Yeah.
are. So there's really
Yeah.
nothing to fear. And you can't do anything about it. So don't worry.
Yeah.
But anyway, I
Yeah.
was thinking about that. You have been to Japan
Uh-huh.
and you plan to return to Japan.
Yeah.
And I considered for a while traveling to Japan. Maybe I will. I just made a huge expense, so I don't
Yeah.
know, but I'll try. Um, so imagining life in a place like around the world that's close to a volcano, like in Pompeii. And they live there. They
Mhm.
live with it. They know that it's a threat, but they also wouldn't be able to live the magnificent life with the abundance of
Mhm.
fruit, with the best nutrients because of the soil, because of the volcano. So it's just like, I mean, we live here. Like if it happens, it happens. I don't know. We have to
And it's kind of
live.
like the Buddhist philosophy where it's like you kind of have to live with this detachment because with the attachment it comes suffering. Like, okay, like what if this happens? Like what if the volcano blows up and my whole life, my fucking $50,000 car, my $1 million house and all this and that? What if it's just blown to pieces and I gotta start over? But it's like, but why live there? You're reaping the benefits of enjoying the present moment, so enjoy the present moment. You know what I mean? Once you start to get
Yeah,
too attached to the future or the past or physical things, material things, then the Buddhists say that starts to lead to suffering. You gotta live your life through detachment.
100%. And I was also driving down the road and saw, they have those like billboard signs for traffic safety and they try to make them funny,
Yeah.
around, I don't know. It was like America's 250, but the speed limit isn't, right? And I was like, well, first of all, I laughed because I was like, how cute. But who would be able to go 250? Anyway, but then I laughed because America is only 250. Like, I know wisdom from all cultures and everything that has culminated into this place is much deeper and wiser, but it's silly of us, really, truly silly. It's almost like a child having confidence, being like, I can do it, I can do it. But then you're watching them and you're like, you 100% cannot do this, and you don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that. But it's the adult having the patience to let them figure that out. That's sort of how I feel like in the world. Like I feel like the whole world is sort of just like, just be patient with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I totally get that.
I don't know. Oh, sometimes it's embarrassing, and I'm not even political. And
So
it's
how does
funny.
it Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, it's funny that usually when we talk, I'm like, well, I don't really want to get into conspiracy theories, and I don't really I don't go toward that way. But 100%, like when spiritually and what I've received, like it, through my intuition and what landed in my body as truth, like they're most of them are 100% right. And I actually love conspiracies. And I just it's almost like the insanity that may come from an overload of information. I actively like I don't want to know all that because I feel it. I already feel it. So I don't want to
Yeah, yeah,
know, so I
yeah,
ruminate and think about all these horrible things. Like I already
yeah,
like feel it pretty deeply. So like I don't want to know details, but like
yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah, there's a
it's
balance you got to keep between staying informed and then making sure number one, it doesn't invade your peace, but then also number two, that you're not affirming it into your reality solidly around you to where it's affecting your everyday life. You know what I
a
mean?
hundred
But
percent.
also too, the crazy thing with that though is I feel like there are some things we have to acknowledge, like as conspiracies, obviously, and things like that. But the average person doesn't want to because it does bring on some sort of responsibility of we have to do something about it. And a lot of people don't want to take that responsibility. You know what I mean? So I feel
Yeah.
like that's why a lot of people, like when we talk about like conspiracies, like with Hollywood or like the music industry and things like that are kind of negative to pointing towards those systems. We obviously know those systems are failing now, like the Epstein case, the Diddy case, and I say this all the time, but a lot of people who defend, like when I say, oh, this artist does this or this person is guilty of this, and the people that try to defend that are saying, no, it'll be like a artist, a music artist, or like someone who's trying to be in Hollywood or something that's still trying to be a part of those systems, but they don't realize that those systems are already on the way out. You know what I mean? Because they have a false foundation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And what you said earlier, people don't want to be responsible for it. But what about if it's all of us? Because that's the fact. It's the fact. It
Yeah.
actually is all of our problem. All of the
Mm-hmm.
things that you don't know about and don't directly affect you are still your problem because you are a human and we are all connected. I've
Mm-hmm.
been thinking about this like really deeply lately, especially driving a lot. It's just like that extra effort. I mean, I can understand when you're like overwhelmed. Like, for example, a mom that has like young kids, like, it's like, well, I can't just like do more for someone else. Like, I have to worry about my own. I get it. But it's those choices, the little choices, like you're saying, especially like Hollywood. Like, what if we all just like turned off our TVs and went outside, made
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
garden? Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can you just imagine? Like, it's
Yeah.
almost comparatively with history, it's almost silly that we don't realize that we're at the circus, we're
Yeah.
at the Coliseum,
And
we're
they
at
don't want us to
the,
realize that, especially
yeah.
I was listening to this girl break down social media yesterday, and she was saying from the 2000s to 2010s, social media was usually just like millennials and people connecting with friends, and then through that time period up to like 2010 till now, basically social media became an integral part of business and things like that, and they saw how this platform was taken away from the traditional platforms of like TV and things like that, movies, music. So what the corporations did was they put a lot of their time and focus and energy from advertising on those traditional platforms into social media. So what happened in 2010 was that social media turned into this thing where it's like everybody's trying to be an influencer. Everybody's trying to get you to follow this brand. Everyone's trying to get you to buy this and that. So all of a sudden, Facebook went from picture of my breakfast at 7 a.m. to fucking, I'm not even going on there unless I want to see what the new restaurant down the street is like. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I tend to avoid Facebook. I'm a little bit more prone to Instagram
yeah,
because Facebook is
yeah,
slop. Like
yeah,
like the
yeah,
videos that just automatically
uh-huh,
play and like all this stuff. It's just like role played nonsense, like
yeah,
scripted real life
yeah,
situations that never they just never end, and it's
yeah,
like they really are sucking your soul out of your
yeah,
body right now, making you
yeah,
sit there and watch it, but you're choosing to do it,
yeah,
you know what I mean? But it's there's something. And the
yeah,
other day I was thinking about, oh god, I was thinking about all of the metal in our bodies and the frequencies that are raising, and I'm just like,
yeah,
oh my god,
yeah.
it's
Yeah, well, I wanted to
it's
bring that point up because I feel like every time they see like the power go back to the people, and not only do we start getting the power for ourselves, but we start connecting with each other, they try to find a way to separate each other from ourselves. You know what I mean? And I feel
yeah.
like that's kind of like a big deal what COVID was about, especially with the 6 feet apart and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But it kind
And
of did
covering
back.
your face. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
about kids because my daughter was young. She was like 2. She was born in 2017, so 3. And she was in preschool, but it was all outdoors, so they continued, but they did have a mask policy. And I realized that from a very young age, kids born around that time, it's probably much harder to identify someone that you don't know and also what their intentions are or what they're, you know what I mean? Because you can't see half their
just the
face.
anxiety around
Yeah.
having new people around and integrating into society under where everyone's kind of just like masked up. It was a very, very weird time, you know what I mean?
Yeah. totally weird time. I was actually, that came up in the previous recording with Eagle Skyfire, and we were talking about how in that short amount of time, LA had less smog.
Yeah.
You're in
Yeah,
LA?
yeah, yes,
So
yes.
tell like okay, so tell me about that. Like how quickly did that make a difference? People not going out, not driving as much.
Okay, so I was an essential worker because I work in the marijuana industry. So there's this hill I drive to work, and about 30 to 40 miles away is Hollywood, which is another hill. And on a clear day, you can see the Hollywood sign, just barely a smidge of it. And almost every day, if the sun was out, there was no clouds, you'd see the Hollywood sign, and it was so strange because there was no traffic going on anywhere. There were no people on the streets, and I think they wanted to separate anyone, but I think it sort of backfired on them too because people had like 6 months to a year, however long the lockdown was, to start, it's researching things, conspiracy theories, esoteric philosophies. They started connecting with each other, making podcasts, and just doing content and stuff like that. So there was this influx of knowledge. Not only did that also backfire when they created the internet, where we can connect in an instant with each other, but then
Mm.
you had this point in time where people had 24 hours in a day to connect with each other, anybody, anywhere in the world on the internet. You know what I mean?
And we all realize that it's a lot more fun to be home and with your family
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
work and school. And then I'm
Hmm.
sure that really pushed the increase in homeschooling and working from home or living in a different way. Like, yeah, I know it did for me, but not specifically tied to COVID, but I can imagine that it had a lot to do with that for a lot of other people.
Yeah, but I do, like you said, I do feel bad for the kids that were born around that time. But not only that, but even the kids that were like having like certain very important moments in their life. Like I think my brother was gonna graduate like around that time or something like that,
Oh,
and he didn't get to
yeah.
graduate. I think he graduated early or something like that. He tested out. Um, and even like think about some of the kids who were like 4 years in high school or 4 years in college that were doing scholarships and things like that were trying to do sports and things like that. It kind of disrupted that whole thing. So
Oh my gosh, yeah.
there was like a whole stop in humanity for a while, and I think it was just like a test. And I think now with the whole other hantavirus and all that stuff, people are kind of just waking up to the fact that it's like, I'm not just gonna believe everything you tell me. You know what I mean? Especially if it's the government. You know what I mean? Especially if it's coming from you. I'm gonna be like, who benefits from this supposedly being true? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Like I said, not a conspiracy theorist, but yeah, the government is never to be trusted. Not ours, not anyone else's. And they'll try to blame other people, but you can't even trust your own. So
Hmm.
don't.
Yeah.
It's just silly. I think you think about it's funny how they like release things from the past, like MK Ultra stuff, and like and then it links to like presidential assassinations
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
of the like, and people having no
Yeah.
memory of like homicidal rages
Well,
and
speaking of COVID, that's why they wanted to hold like the results of the COVID trials for like 200 years, 100 years, or something like that. And then it's slowly starting to come out that all these lawsuits are starting to happen because the week long or whatever long trials that they did for the COVID shots should have been. There's a lot of things going on with that. I don't really want to say too much because I don't want to have any controversy on your platform or anything like that. But yeah,
I
you
don't
you
even
get what I'm
think
getting
about
at.
my platform that
Yeah.
way. It's funny sometimes people will be like, "Oh, do I need to edit this or can we talk about that?" I don't even does the internet limit my reach if I have things that are inflammatory? I don't care.
Um, Sometimes I think, but never be too careful. Like I got a strike the other day for saying that there's a rift in the spirituality and spiritual community about aliens and whether they're demonic or not. And TikTok was like, "That's false information. That's misinformation." And I'm like, "What?" I said that people are arguing about something. I didn't say anything as a fact or a statement. Number one. Number two, the government is the one putting out this real slow drip breadcrumbing disclosure that's not even giving us any new information other than what we've already had, like these blurry UFO videos, and that these things could be we don't know what these things are. All they're telling us. We have these videos, we don't know what they are. That's, this is the basic thing of it. But then you have these whispers and these conspiracies that there's actually some companies that have reverse engineered some of this alien technology. So there's that whole aspect of the story, and that could be why they're breadcrumbing it, because they're just obviously not telling us everything that they already know.
I 100% believe they reverse engineered technology and yeah, they would blame it on the aliens, but they also know that the aliens would just be like, pull the trigger. They're being kind by like not just coming to being like beaming everyone up to like where we need to be to understand where we need
Hmm.
to get to.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, but on your podcast, when I was a guest, Todd said something that resonated very much with me about aliens and angels and demons and them all being the same thing
Hmm.
potentially. And I was like, I believe that too. That's a very interesting thought. Yeah, because I without religious framework, it's easier to conceptualize. It's a being, it's an entity, not
Yeah,
meaning lower level entity, but entity of any frequency. It's just
yeah.
yeah. What is anything?
Yeah, and
That's
I mean, a lot of people are saying, obviously, I talk a lot about the principle of mentalism and how reality is presented to us through our mental, but I mean, a lot of people are saying something along the lines that these interdimensional beings could be presented to us as, because they are like parts of our subconscious. So it's like when that happens, especially it's gonna be kind of like dreams where your subconscious is gonna be speaking to you kind of like through symbolism and things like that. So it depends on what state of consciousness and what state of mind you're in order to perceive, like in order what reality gets projected to you when you have when you have an experience with these things. So meaning like, if you are religious and you're Christian and you're super scared and you think they're demons, like they will be presented to you as demons, as opposed to someone who has no fear, is not really religious. They may be presented to them as, some kind of alien species or a ghost, or maybe something different, maybe a fairy or something. I don't know. But
yeah,
but he did kind of there is this idea that these beings are being presented to you through the lens of how your mind is able to accept whatever's being presented to you subconsciously, if
that
that
makes
makes any
sense.
sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Makes total sense. Yeah. It is what you make it.
A lot of people are saying we're gonna get some kind of big thing, disclosure, the June or July or something like that. But they've been saying that for like, it's gonna happen next year, and then the year before that it's gonna happen next year, and then the year before it's gonna happen next year. So
The Great
I don't
Awakening.
know. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, to me, the Great Awakening, there's a lot more people who are open about having intuitive abilities, Akashic
Yeah.
record readers,
Yeah.
tarot readers, esoteric philosophy. I got a buddy who's an ex-Mason who's just basically not exposing all the Masonic secrets and stuff like that, but basically people are saying he's exposing the Masonic secrets, but he's basically just taking all the knowledge that's already printed out on the internet. You can find it somewhere, and kind of just dissecting it for the masses so they can really understand what Freemasonry is at its core. And then even just things talking about like, quantum physics and spirituality and
Yeah.
meditation and tantra and Buddhism and Hinduism and Gnosticism and Kabbalah and Hermeticism and all that kind of stuff is kind of becoming more common knowledge, you know what I mean? So I
Yes.
think that has a lot to do with the Great Awakening and the new knowledge per se that Chris Bledsoe said was going to come this year. When he said that the lady told him that Iran and Israel were going to be exchanging missiles and things like that. So I do believe we are in the middle of the Great Awakening, and I
Yeah.
think it may look a little bit different than people anticipated it to.
Yes.
And stop me if I'm ranting too long, but also
No.
too, there is a lot of glitches in the Matrix happening. And I think that's what's happening. So I think, this is the physical realm, and then you have all the way up, all these layers of reality, all the way up until source consciousness. In between there, like close to us, obviously, we have like the astral realm and things like that. So basically, what I think is going to happen, we're going to slowly start shifting up into like more of a dream state. And I think that's why like a lot of like glitches in the Matrix are happening, like people are having like multiple items pop up like, oh, I bought this 2 years ago, I only bought two of them, and somehow I have three, things like that, or people just like having like getting lost in like time loops or like going back in time and just crazy weird glitches in the matrix. I think more of that stuff is going to happen more and more, and I think we're going to
Yeah.
shift into a different kind of understanding of reality and how we can perceive it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people also say there's going to be a split. Do you believe in the Earth split, where one's going to go 3D Earth and the other one's going to go 5D Earth?
I think it won't be forced. Everything is a choice, including how you're able to get your frequency up or down. That's
Mhm.
also a choice. Um, and I think that would contribute to any split if it were to occur. But yeah, that scares me. I hope not. I hope it's not just black and white. That's what this place is for. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? There's got to be gray. There's got to be,
Well, I
you
mentioned it
know,
the other day on my podcast that, or I think I forget if it was on a podcast or on a private conversation, but if there are infinite timelines and there are infinite ways that our future could happen, like me right now, there's a part of me that lifts up my left hand. There's a part of me that lifts up my right hand. There's a part of me that goes here for lunch. There's a part of me that goes to that restaurant for lunch. There are infinite possibilities. So it's like we split off at every possible moment anyway. You know what I mean? So, and if to imagine this big split would be to say that Earth or the human experience kind of stays in a linear, solid kind of timeline when it doesn't. It
it
forever branches out infinitely. So
absolutely.
that's the way I see reality. So as far as the
Yeah.
3D, 5D Earth split, I think it may be something described more as an opportunity for a collective amount of humans to shift to a higher frequency, if
Hmm.
that makes sense.
Hmm.
But I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to think about it. But like I do say, I think we're in the middle of the awakening right now, and it's very interesting to see what's going on and what's happening around us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've had multiple recollections or moments where everything that I was receiving, like mentally, input wise, and in my body, also feeling like it's like motion sickness almost when you know you're in a different timeline.
Hmm.
Um, and apparently I do this a lot, like, but I don't consciously do it. So this is why sometimes when I am conscious of it, it's like feels weird. But I have I'm thinking about a few times where I was going through a lot. There's a lot going on. And I was like, I feel like I'm in a different version right now. Like there's different people here. This is a different place than where I was
Yeah,
yesterday
yeah, yeah.
and where I'll be tomorrow. Like this is not like I don't fit here. This isn't where I'm from. This is some other place with different people.
Let
Like
me
it's
ask
weird.
you, let me ask you about Mandela effects. Are there any Mandela effects that hardcore hit you? Like, oh my God, I remember it being exactly this way and it's this way now. For me, it's the word dilemma because dilemma is spelled Dilemma. That's the official, if you look in the dictionary, that's how supposedly it's always been spelled. But I remember as a kid, when something is spelled different than the way it's pronounced, I'll make note of that in my head, and that's the way I pronounce it in my head. For instance, the word Wednesday, I don't say it Wednesday in my head. I say Wednesday because you spell it Wednesday.
I
So
do
for
the
the
same thing, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
so for dilemma, I would say it in my head dilemma because it was Dilemna. It was always like that, and I remember knowing this word from being pretty young, probably like I probably learned that word third, fourth grade or something like that. But I remember that being in my vocabulary for a long time, and then it being such a hardcore Mandela effect that there is a whole website about it called dilemma.com, where it's this whole different other group of people who are saying the exact same thing as me. I remember spelling it this way because I remember pronouncing it in my head that way. And I think that gives way to the fact that even though reality is rigid and
Yeah.
structured, it is not as rigid and structured as we think it is. And a
Yeah.
lot of people think it has to do with like a CERN and stuff like that. but I don't know. Could be, could not.
You know what is one for me? Okay, so the term BC, like before Christ,
Uh-huh.
what is it now?
Something
Oh,
else. It's not
it's
that.
something else.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
only know BC, and then everyone that says it just knows what to say, and I'm like, what is this that you're saying? I mean, I get it. It's like BCE or something. What does the E
Yeah.
stand for?
Yeah.
What's the E for? It's
Yeah.
things like that. I looked it up before. Oh my God. I just
Before the
saw a
common
horse
era.
before Common Era. Is that what that means?
Did you see a
But
horse go by your window right
I
now?
did. It was beautiful. I was just running by. Oh, it was crazy.
Wow. So are you on a
There's
ranch right now?
it's 27 acres. Yeah, I don't
Wow.
even know how many horses there are actually. I haven't counted. There's some in the stable too. I just saw a tail go up. What was I saying? Oh, before Christ or before Common Era. That's
Hmm.
interesting. And
Yeah.
I've heard people say other things too,
Hmm.
like in reference to time frames that were different than what I learned. And I'm
Hmm.
wondering, when did that come into effect? And how did people perhaps older than I am or even my same age know this new thing, is what I'm
Yeah.
wondering, because
Yeah.
I don't, and I've been
I'm
living
like, you're
on
from a
Earth.
parallel
Yeah.
universe.
I'm
Our
like,
Brittany
what?
had the plaid skirt.
Oh my God. Yeah, there's such weird things. And you feel it in your body though. It's
Hmm.
more than a memory. Like you feel
Yeah.
that and you're like, no,
Yeah.
I know it was this way.
Uh-huh.
Like, why
Uh-huh.
is it this way now?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I've had a few times where I like, it's that go between when you're about to leap into a new life or a new timeline, you have the opportunity to not, and you could just go back or stay where you are, but you have
Wow.
to make that choice, right? But
Hmm.
I've made choices back and forth, like for example, trying to reconcile with my ex-husband many times because divorce is not fun and I don't want the legal system telling me what to do or what I'm worth or what, like I'd rather work with a person. I don't
Yeah.
want to get the court involved, but
Yeah.
whatever. So anyway, going going back and forth, trying to make things work, trying to see different options and see what I can make work, which, you know, and then I'd go back into that. And the next day I wake up and it's that feeling like, nope, I'm in a weird world here. This is a weird world. This isn't the right one. And then, yeah, then you have to sit at night and make some choices, burn a fire, and be like,
Well,
okay,
it kind
I'm
of
going to
feels
jump
like
now.
going back to us being at this level of awareness where you're kind of ready to take life by the wheel, you know what I mean? Like you took a leap of faith to go on this trip. You'd never driven a big truck like that before. You were telling me about that. So how does it feel to just, doesn't it feel nice to just go and do something that you never thought you'd do before?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm still honestly a little bit scared. I'll probably be scared until I can fully do it. Like, I'm not afraid of driving the truck. I'm used to driving big trucks. I'm not used to having a 35-foot trailer.
Yeah.
That is basically all that I own to live in. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, it's one
Mhm.
thing to maybe like a 30-foot flatbed trailer or something. I've like pulled that with a dump truck, but not, this thing is humongous, but I'll get used to it. It's just a learning curve. It's just a
Yeah.
learning curve. Um, but I'm not really afraid. And you know what? When I needed help, I got it.
Yeah.
I needed help twice, and then I was like, I'm going to ask for help. I asked for
The
help.
universe
I got the
provides.
help. I said, thank you very much. I couldn't have done it without you. Literally went on my way. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. There was some, down the roads here are very rural, and I missed a turn and then I had to keep going and there was nowhere to turn around. They were all private driveways with gates at the end. So
Oof.
I couldn't pull in long enough to be able to back up. So I was like, I don't know what to do. And it was like 15 minutes longer. I was going to get there in 5 minutes and then it added 15. And I was like, oh my God. So like, it's like, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And the GPS told me to turn left on a road and then it just stopped. And I was like, what? And I had to back up then. And then it was rough because it was like a triangle. Like there was a lane here and a lane here that like and there was like a post, like a telephone pole.
Oh
And
my
then there were
God.
trees on the other side of the road. So like I pulled in this way and then I pulled down more to get straight and I was trying to back out here, but I don't have cameras on or anything yet. So I'm just doing it and I don't even have long rear view or side view mirrors extendable, like they don't extend, so I can't actually see what's behind me, so to
Wow.
keep getting out and like looking, and Grace was helping me. She's the best like road shotgun rider. She helps me navigate. Shotgun. Well, that's what it's called when you ride in the passenger side. Shotgun. Actually, you know why? It's because then you would be carrying the shotgun to protect. Uh, they would ride in the
Is it like a
passenger seat.
police term?
Um, I actually was watching some reel the other day, and this woman went through common expressions and she explained where they came from, and I believe it was like in the West, and it's like whenever in a stagecoach, and the person that would ride in the passenger seat would hold the shotgun in case robbers or somebody came or tried to like take their stuff or take their, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's like you had to wield the shotgun. That's why it's called shotgun.
Wow.
Oh well, but no
Nice.
shotguns here. We don't like guns.
Just good
I do.
vibes. Good
Yes.
vibes and kitties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. What else is going on? Oh, earlier I was saying about Jeremy taking a trip to Japan. That's so cool. Tell me a little bit about what it was like for you traveling and experiencing such a different culture like halfway across the world.
Well, first of all, a bunch of people were kind of like, "Well, thanks for the invite. Why didn't you invite me?" And then like there were like a handful of people that were like they were a little bit upset, but I was kind of just like, like I kind of did it for me, you know what I mean? I kind of did it. And especially because like the last time I went out of the country, I think we went to I went to Mexico before that. I went to London, but I went to London because I was like, the language is gonna be a little bit different, but I can still understand. But in Japan, I was like, I'm gonna have to try to learn Japanese. So I did like 4 or 5 months on Duolingo. So I was like, it was kind of like a challenge for me to go somewhere by myself and do my thing for a few days. You know what I mean? And it was super fun. And the thing is, like with in here in America, there's kind of like a different like spirit, kind of like different way of society where it's kind of like you break the rules when you can, you know what I'm saying? Like for instance, like if there's like no spots in my grocery store, like I'll just go drive to the drive and pick up, park up and go in there and grab my protein shake and leave, you know what I mean? Like I'm breaking the rules, but it's like, but in Japan, like if the walkway, the people are going this way and the other walkway, the people are going that way, like you don't go that way. Like you go like with the people. Like you don't talk on the subway, like the social norms, like you don't break them and things like that. You know what I mean? And the other thing is I feel like that kind of bleeds into this other personality trait of America where it's like when you're by yourself or like a lot of people will like which I don't really mind too much, but I'm kind of introverted. But like a lot of people that don't know you will come up to you and like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Blah blah. Introduce yourself to you. So you'll meet like a lot of strangers. A lot of people are outgoing, especially if you walk by someone on the street, you make eye contact with them, kind of give them a nod or whatever. In Japan, it's not like that at all. Everyone keeps to themselves. Like everyone's really nice, especially the people that like your waitress at the restaurant or the people whose like job it is to serve you or whatever. Or if you, especially like this couple I didn't know, my phone was dying when I was in Harajuku and I was supposed to get back to my hotel in Shinjuku and I didn't know how to take the I didn't know where to go to take the taxi. So I just stopped this random couple and they stopped a taxi on the main street for me over this rail and they were like, "Hey, here you go." Because I
That's
didn't know how anything
amazing.
worked. Yeah, yeah. So it's like my point is being that like everyone is kind of like more introverted, keeps to themselves. So because I'm kind of like that, it was very comfortable for me. It's an introvert's paradise. And then just seeing the temples were so beautiful. I went to Kyoto and I saw this temple called Aikendo, and just like the outside of it, the inside of it, it was just amazing to go experience like a different culture, like on the other side of the world. You know what I mean? And then to challenge myself to integrate myself into a society where I don't know the language, I don't know the social norms, but I studied a little bit before I went. But it was just so cool. I do definitely encourage anybody to at least go on a solo trip, even if it's not out the country, if it's to a different state, if it's somewhere you haven't been before, if it's down the street, if it's to a new city, you know what I mean? If you have the chance to explore, go somewhere, especially if it's like no one wants to go, like you're usually, oh, my buddy doesn't want to go, my cousin don't want to go, like just go on a solo trip. just go, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or go with
Yeah.
who wants to go, you know what I mean? Go out there and explore because there is a big world out there. Even though it's small, it's also big, you know.
And you'll see so much more when you're by yourself too, because you're
Yeah.
not distracted by someone else, some other American talking to you, trying to be,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're just like, okay, I don't want to do small talk. I want to see the clouds. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
there were
want to
so
see the
many parts.
temples. I want to,
Yeah,
yeah,
there were so many parts of my trip where I was just like, I'm just gonna walk down this random street and see what's there. I'm just gonna walk down this place and see what's there. I'm just gonna go in this store and see what's there. Like, what's here? You know what I mean? And like, it's a lot easier to do that when you don't have someone who's like, ah, I'm tired. Let's go here. I want to go here at this time. I don't want to go there. Oh, man, let's go. You know, like, and then it's just like you kind of have to have a sense of, you kind of have to when you're traveling with someone else, you got to make sure that they're cool too. You
navigate.
know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to
Yeah. So
navigate
like,
all the
yeah. So when you're by yourself, like you're just on a whim, doing whatever you want to, and I think there's something about that that's like super fun.
100%, 100%. I remember, um, I booked a solo trip after my first ever plant medicine retreat. I booked a solo trip to go to Key West for a few days after because I knew that it would be a very bad idea to have such an experience and then go immediately back to my life. I was like, I'm going to need a minute. So I booked a trip. I had this awesome hotel booked and I was just going to go by myself. But then I met someone at the retreat and she was awesome and we became friends. And then I was like, do you want to come? And she's like, yeah. And so she flew down and stayed with me and we went skydiving and scuba diving. And I preferred her being there with me actually, because I probably would not have done that by myself. You know, those are
Yeah.
good things that you need. Like, I'm the crazy one who was like, hey, do you want to go skydiving? And
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That was fun. It was, I wouldn't have
Wow.
done that by myself though. Yeah. I probably would have just laid by the pool and like read books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you have planned for the rest of your journey?
We're going to go back up to Georgia. And we're going to visit some friends who live around there, meet up because I have a few friends who live in the area around Woodstock and Marietta. I'm going to do that. Maybe next week. We'll wait till Monday, right? But we're
Nice.
going to go up and hang out with some friends and then make our way back from Tennessee and then Virginia and then back to PA and start moving. I have to pack up our townhouse and get things over to storage and put things in
Okay.
here. And within 2 months, this will be my full time where I'm at.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Did you buy that?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's so
Yep.
cool.
It's going to be full time. So
Yeah.
I'll be traveling around and I'm really excited. Like, I can imagine maybe we could do a podcast in person.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't
Let
know
me
if I
know.
could fit in LA in the on the streets in LA with all this, but
No, there's places you can camp though.
for sure.
There's like
Yeah, that would be
campsites and stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah, that
so
would be
cool.
amazing.
Yeah. She left her phone at home. Yeah.
Well,
Post in like a week or two. It's yeah. We were where were we? We were at the train station. I was like, "Where's your phone?" She's like, "At home." At home. I'm like, "What? You just left it there?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, we're gonna be gone for like a week. Now
wow.
it's gonna be more because we stayed here 2 days longer than I planned. So we're delaying by 2 days, but it's been really rainy and the road here is made of sand. And
Ooh.
there's a little bit of a sinkhole situation and I'm a little nervous. A little nervous to go off onto the grass with all of this. So we'll see. Because it's wet. Everything's
Yeah.
wet. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll let the sun shine tomorrow
Yeah. Well, I'm
and try
excited to see how it
again.
goes.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
talking today, Jeremy. I
Oh,
really appreciate
absolutely.
it.
I had a
And
blast.
yeah,
Anytime I'm ready. Just give me a shout and I'm here.
love it. All
Yeah.
right, take care.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of In My Experience. I hope this conversation inspired you to stay curious, trust your own experiences, and maybe even take a leap that you've been feeling called to take. One of the themes that kept showing up throughout this conversation was the idea that growth often happens outside of our comfort zone. Whether it's traveling somewhere new, questioning old beliefs, learning to trust your intuition, or simply saying yes to an unexpected opportunity, life has a way of meeting us where we decide to participate in it. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a rating or review, and share it with someone who might enjoy this conversation. You can find me on Instagram at Hyacinth Healing. And if you'd like to work with me directly, you'll find links for my offerings in the show notes. Also, check out Outside Minds podcast and Steelo Free's music on Spotify. He is the artist that we share music from at the beginning and end of every episode. So take a listen to his stuff when you have a chance and check out his podcast. Um, I love listening to all of the wild topics that they get into with people. I really love being able to hold um, multiple perspectives and learn and understand from many different people. So I appreciate his show a lot. You should check it out. Um, Also, I wanted to say shout out to Lonnie in Moshine, Tennessee. I just wanted to say that in case he hears this. I was preparing the intro and discussing how trauma is often an opening for this realm. And I wanted to say this was recorded before I met Lonnie. And then I met him, and he described that from a young age, he had a very abusive childhood, and he often had out of body experiences in which he was able to see different entities. And he quickly learned um, that they are very deceptive, and he's a big believer in God, though he is not religious. And I just really enjoyed having a conversation with him. I actually invited him on the podcast, and he said um, he didn't decline, and I hope to see him again soon. And I hope to get him on here because he really was a fascinating person to talk with. He was spewing all kinds of ancient knowledge, and I just am here for it. I love it, and I appreciate it. So I also appreciate my travels and upcoming travels. Right now, I'm back home. I'm packing, I'm moving. I have a lot going on. So I'm sorry that I'm a little bit late, but I'm doing my best, and that's fine. Um, got a lot of things. Got to pack it up, store it, sell it, give it away. I'm looking at a lot of house plants. I have a lot of listings on Facebook Marketplace if you're in like the Philadelphia area. Downingtown. I have a lot of plants for sale, so please buy them. Other than that, I hope to catch you soon next week, and I hope you have a wonderful, fabulous week, especially with school getting out, settling into vacation mode, catching some sun. I hope you wake up with the sun and go to sleep with the sun and take lots of baths. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.
Cause pressure made diamonds. Lay back, smoking loud in the silence. It's all love, but no trust. Why you think I'm doing too much? Cause pressure made diamonds. Lay back, smoking loud in the silence. I roll love and go up. Why you tripping, give me no love? Nowadays you don't gotta mind me. In the end I hope you really find peace. I had to set my mind free. I had to let my soul breathe. Moon sign Pisces, heart broke psyche. Angels all around me, but demons wanna fight me. Feel like I had to fight myself. No, I had to look inside myself. With a predisposition to addiction. Through the negatives, I'm still focused on the vision. It's sorta like that first scene you see in Pulp Fiction. I see the end, but it's really only the beginning. I had to find a way to be grateful for them locked doors that you may close. When doves cry, it's so painful, but the purple rain is so graceful. Cause pressure made diamonds, lay back, smoking loud in the silence. It's all love, but no trust. Why you think I'm doing too much? Cause pressure made diamonds, lay back, smoking loud in the silence. I roll up and go up. Why you tripping? Give me no love. I'm fighting battles, lost between the lights and the shadows. Trying to shoot me down, I'm dodging all the ammo. Left me hanging, I escaped from the gallows. Swim through the ether, blowing on a reefer. Running like Rev when he rapped about Adidas. It's like my flow is heaven sent. My energy could shift the cards in your tarot deck. Life ain't always what it seemed. An alternate reality, I'm living in a dream. I got the Stussy on the T with the 501 jeans. Ray-Ban Lokes with the Air Max 3s. Mandela Effect, got me living my best. I gotta jump timelines when I'm living in stress. And a spliff in my chest, it got me lifting and blessed. Peace, you know the rest. Why you think I'm doing too much? Cause pressure made diamonds.